All right, welcome. It's 39 days, 12 hours, 17 minutes, and 20 seconds until Girls AAU State. And tonight I'm sitting here with Iowa Girls Director and National Girls Director Jason Lloyd, and we've got some information on Girls State for you. How you doing tonight, Jason?
I'm doing great, Troy. I appreciate you having me on.
Well, I think I'd like to start with the big announcement that we just had a meeting and decided to add a division to the high school. Why don't you go ahead and let us know about what the new division is.
Yeah, I have some wonderful people who work with us here with the AAU, Ally Joe and Mr. Greeter, who's always helping us to push the envelope and try to find new ways to help more girls and to give more opportunities. And along with that, Ally brought it up, and I think it was a great idea that a lot of our JV athletes don't always have very much of an opportunity. And as I mentioned to her, one of my favorite events to coach used to be our MAC conference JV meet for JV conference for the boys. I would like to see obviously more of that for the girls, but we have to get conferences going well first for them, obviously. But for us with AAU, we were the first, really prime time big unofficial girls state that really rolled out and got things done for high school girls specifically. And the high school girls, a lot of people don't understand that a lot of girls don't start seeing wrestling just like the boys now until junior high and high school. There's so many first year wrestlers, so many JV wrestlers, so many, people enjoying the sport, wanting to participate, and then they really don't have the opportunity. So we're now adding progressive, basically unofficial JV state to the AU Girls State. And part of this is because we've thrown down the money and rented out that enormous convention center to add on to the arena. There's a nice, nifty little hallway that attaches the arena and the convention center. So we're going to run mats out there, and that takes us to 18 mats for AAU Girls State. So we were already projecting, beyond the 1,200 that we had limited out last year on the 12 mats. Now, I could see us, going beyond what we had at AU Kids State a few years ago when we had the boys and girls still there, around 2,000 athletes. Within a year or two, I think we could hit numbers like that, which will be fantastic. And we're now once again offering another new opportunity for women's wrestling here in Iowa. So we have now basically unofficial JV state added to our AAU Girls State.
Yeah, so in our meeting, we talked about what would qualify for that. So basically, what we're considering JV, you did not wrestle at your regional, so you're the number two at that weight. You have a less than 500 record on your varsity year. So that's kind of the cutoff on seeding for most tournaments. So that's kind of what we're looking at. We're going to have Allie Joe is going to kind of monitor that and make sure, but you'll have your opportunity to select which division. And then also, if we're not in the right division, we could probably make that switch. I'm guessing at weigh-ins, maybe. I don't know. Can we make
Yeah,
that switch, Jason?
oh yeah, absolutely. We already have quite a few girls signed up in that division. It was probably about half the numbers almost already that we had for the full division last year. So we're going to be reaching out to those high school girls that have already signed up to see which one of the two divisions they would like to be placed in, and we're going to adjust their registration accordingly. And then at weigh-ins, we can change anything. We'd prefer not to, so please sign up in the
Yes.
right division, right weight beforehand because that would save us all a headache. But however, if you see this opportunity is there for your athletes and for your daughter and and they need to switch a division up here, they'll benefit more. I think this is a great opportunity once again, to give more athletes more of an opportunity to enjoy the sport and on a big stage event, something a lot of those, newer JV and developing girls don't always get.
Yeah, I think that's really important. The first time you walk out in a big tournament, you don't want it to be the Iowa Girls State Tournament when you walk out and you're very nervous. If you've been in the big arenas, it makes things so much better. That's kind of the purpose behind AAU State is to have you
Yeah.
prepared for those things. And also, it kind of goes along with our progressive division at Twin River Duels. Why don't we hit any other information you want to hit on AAU State while we're talking about that, and then we'll move on to some other stuff we got going on.
Yeah, as I mentioned, there's the two now high school divisions. The All-Star division will still be our main qualifier for getting those golden tickets for the invites to the National Scholastic Duels down in Fort Lauderdale. Our girls had a blast. We have the South Beach experience right now happening with the National Scholastic Duels. We take four total teams. We're going to give the top three out of each high school all-star division a golden ticket invite, and then we build up a progressive team as we can behind that for the fourth team. So that's part of AAU Girls State. Now, if you love your coach, what better way than to send them to Florida? So get as many girls as you can signed up for your club and be like East Buck or Buena Vista with Paige Storm and, try to win AAU Girls State because if you do, as a club, your coach gets a free trip to Florida. That's right, a free trip to Florida for your coach. Nobody else is offering this. I'm just telling you. If you talk to the East Buck coaches, they obviously enjoyed themselves. I know Paige enjoyed herself the year before. But the winning girls team for AU Girls State will join our national team coaching staff for that trip to Florida, and then once again be plugged into some of the best girls across the state who also qualified, and it's just a great opportunity for you to support your coach and your team and kind of show out a little bit and get them a free trip to Florida. Again, with AU Girls State, we've also expanded to 18 mats. Nobody else is running that. I'm telling you, nobody's as wild as we are. And we're throwing down the resources and we're renting out that enormous convention center they have. Some of the people may have only seen the one room 2 years ago when we ran awards out of the one room, but now we're gonna have that room plus two rooms that are double its size. So it's enormous. We've already been there. It looks great. There's going to be an access between the floor on the arena to the convention side for those with the wristbands and passes. I've been there. And for the awards, it flowed back and forth pretty well 2 years ago. We're also going back to that. That C Hall will be reserved for awards, and it has a rollaway door that goes all the way out to the front door. So there's a massive area for awards this year. That's going to be a nice uptick for us. The flow is going to be better. Obviously, more mats. 18 mats means more girls. Last year it was kind of sad. We had to put a deadline or a cutoff on it. We hit that cutoff, and then we ended up letting in everyone who reached out and contacted us and filled out a form so we could manage the influx. But we did let in everyone who reached out to us. But we're never happy if we're turning girls away. And now going to 18 mats, not only are we not turning girls away, we've just now found a new opportunity adding this unofficial JV state and progressive girls high school division. So that's pretty exciting for me
Yeah, maybe
and for the
next
girls
year.
of
Maybe
Iowa.
next year we add the adult division for people like your daughter-in-law can come back and wrestle a match. I don't know. We'll have to
Oh
see.
no, no. Oh no, rematches of her and Tatum or Allie and that
That
could get
would
wild. That could
could
get
be kind of
fun
fun.
too.
Yeah.
They might
Um,
like that.
I pulled up the website, so I just got some of the information. Real simple. If you don't know already, March 7th through 9th, weigh-ins will be March 7th. The early bird weigh-ins, I believe, cost you 25 extra dollars, but you can weigh in. Is that noon or is that
Noon.
noon? You can weigh in at noon and get some food in you before everybody hits. That was a big success the last couple of years. Great having people come in early and get that done. But things moved pretty smoothly last year, but I think we're going to open it up even more this year, space wise, for
Oh,
for weigh-ins.
one of the compliments we've always had is we always have a solid plan for weigh-ins, and the flow is typically pretty good. We're really good at sending parents one way to take care of business with getting wristbands or whatever they need, while sending kids another way to go get on those scales and then meet back up with a parent. We're gonna utilize that ginormous space that we have this year, and the parents are gonna come in where the awards ultimately will be set up on Friday night. And so after the away ends. And so the parents are going to come in to Hall C they're gonna take care of their business that they have there, with wristbands or coaches passes or whatnot. Their kids are gonna head out on across the six mats. We're gonna utilize that giant space across six mats, and we'll have 12 scales out there. If we need to go to 15, we will. I don't think we will. Last year 12 was more than sufficient to weigh in that many kids. And so they'll go out and they'll see their divisions out on those mats, where to go and get weighed in. And so then they'll circle back out and meet their parents out in the main lobby area there, with those doors right there. And we'll have cattle guards, and people directing traffic, and we usually have really great signage. So, it's the space we're utilizing now is even more efficient and even larger than what we have in the past. And we've never had a complaint about how our weigh-ins ran, and I don't foresee an issue this year.
Perfect. Yeah. And so I'm just going to go down the list. The next thing is awards. We're going to do awards out to eighth place. Great medals, custom medals from place in Breda, just down the street from me. Trophies Plus. They do an awesome job. And then three times gear is going to make championship sweatshirts for us and a wall chart. So anything you got to add on the on awards?
Yeah, so the custom medals are pretty nice. I hope that I'm gonna do a head count with what we ordered from the trophy guy and see now that we've added this new division, that division may end up with like an insert medal or something. I don't think they're gonna mind because previously they didn't have this opportunity, but it'll be very, very high, well done. A high dollar. It'll be nice. We made sure the additional medals we needed last year were nice. And then three times gear. Now, listen, guys, if you're not using three times gear, you need to use three times gear. These guys, Todd Fuller and Sandra Lane and those guys out there, they're Johnny on the spot for us. When we've had uniform issues in the past, we continue to create, improvements on everything with it for the girls, for the fits, and then they stepped up to the plate. They are the main event sponsor. And I'm not able to disclose, obviously contract details, but nobody's taking care of the girls like how these guys have. Not with us. We've had Rudis in the past. We appreciate the help they gave us in the past, but three times gear really stepped up. Some of the reasons we're able to do the expansion and things that we are right now is because of, the sponsorship and what they were able to work out with us financially to support the tournament. As you mentioned, these guys are basically donating the award sweatshirts, to the tournament, and if anybody's ever had to buy, 90 sweatshirts, that's not cheap. And
No.
and so, these guys are making them up. They're treating the girls with great respect. They have, you know, great uniforms with our Team Iowa stuff. We've got a new upgrade coming for that as well. But three times gear, like they're taking care of your girls here in Iowa, guys. So make sure we're checking them out when we're doing our custom team stores or uniforms and singlets the next year. They also
Yeah.
made some really nice ones for my Assumption girls that Valentina West designed, and like my girls like it. They've been rocking them for most of the season.
Yeah, and so they're gonna have their stands will be set up three times gear. Will have exclusive stuff for our event. Plus they've done some sublimated stuff. I've seen some of the designs he sent out, and it looks
Uh,
really good stuff. High quality. I have some three times gear. I used them a couple years ago. Schools don't buy stuff very often. So it'll be a few more years down the road. But yeah, they did some two-piece singlets for me and sweatshirts, and their sweatshirts are top. And actually, I'm wearing one right now. The ISF ones from last year. So yeah, top notch quality. So ISF's great quality stuff that they did, and they're going to do it right for the AAU State. Tentative schedule: Saturday morning. Doors are going to open at 7 a.m. Wrestling will begin at 8 a.m. Any idea on which divisions are going what times and what days, or is that still
yep.
kind of up in the air?
No, can you hear me all right?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, sorry, it kind of cut out on me for a second. So for the third through sixth grade, they're going to be out in the convention center. The third and fourth graders are going to run a session. And depending upon numbers, we'll put out a bulletin as registration closes out that last week on confirmed times. I expect fifth and sixth graders to be started on those mats 13 through 18 out there in the convention center. I expect those to be started around, between 12 and 2. It's typically how long we're gonna need with six mats, on I'm expecting, 300 to 400 athletes on that AM session and similar to the PM session out there. So, if we're going to take a look at the registration numbers and, obviously put out bulletins so everybody knows what time to show up. And then inside the arena, we're going to run our larger divisions, our two largest divisions, which will be the high school divisions and the junior high divisions. We're going to start out with the junior high divisions for sure. Running in an AM session at 8 a.m. We're probably going to possibly add this new development and progressive one to that AM session. I'm going to weigh that out again, as we get a little closer and see what registration numbers are looking like. We'll have it on the website. We'll put out emails to the registrars, where people know. And then again, with the numbers that we're looking at right now, we're probably looking at again, around a noon to 2 o'clock start time for the high schoolers, which I'm sorry if you coach high school girls, they prefer the PM sessions. They like to stay up late Snapchatting, and then they like to sleep in a little and get up and then show up, warm up, and get going. They don't mind being in a PM session ever, ever. I've never
Yep.
had a high school girl complain about that. So, I don't expect a very late night. With 18 mats. Just to give you a mindset. So AU Kids State and the last year that we had AU Girls State together out there at Wells Fargo. We were around 1,900 kids, and they had 15 mats on Saturday. And, I think that went to 8:30, 9 o'clock. So that was, way more kids on less mats. And so, we're going to be fine with what we're running. We have plenty of room to grow now for at least the next couple years. So we already have dates right now for 2026, 2027, because we know we can facilitate what we have where we're at for a while now, which is part of the reason for the expansion and everything.
Yeah. So we always have certified officials from the Iowa High School Athletic Association, the Girls Union. So you're going to have certified officials. I'm sure Mark Kenny, who puts together our officials, is going to have some of our newer officials. Last year we had 3 or 4 high school girls that had certified that did a fantastic job, and I'm sure we're going to keep implementing that because that's one of the things that we really need to start working on is getting more girls officials. Um, we also the trainers we will have trainers on site, so they make that decision on any safety things with your kids, and we don't want to make those decisions. We allow a professional to do that. I saw that in there. All the rules are NFHS freestyle rule or folk style rules, other than we don't care if you wear your headgear or not. That's up to you.
Well, we don't have headgear and there's no minimum weight.
No minimum weight. Gotcha.
Yep.
So other than that, I think that's pretty much all that. We will have event photography again. We're gonna have, I'm sure we'll have streaming. That's still being worked out with whoever we're gonna stream with. Talked about event gear. We will definitely try to do a pretty good job of keeping people interviewed and get some social media going this year. So that's kind of new and exciting. So, of course, we definitely need volunteers. Anybody willing to volunteer to work some tables and stuff like that, let's make sure we get a hold of Jamie Park, the volunteer coordinator for AAU Girls Wrestling. And I'm trying to think of anything else that needs to be mentioned on state, and we can move on to Twin Rivers if you like.
Yeah, no, excited. We're pulling the trigger on a huge expansion to take care of these kids, and then we have now, just we're constantly looking for new ways to help more girls, find the mat and find a great experience. And so I'm pretty excited about having this unofficial JV state or progressive girls division, for those girls who have found the sport, and need to develop those skills, and they can now get a big stage event. So that's pretty exciting. So. If you want to move on to Twin Rivers, let's go.
Yep. Well, shortly after AAU State gets over, we're just 74 days, 2 hours, 28 minutes, and 15 seconds away from the Twin River Duels. And this is a standalone girls tournament this year. Last year we had 84 teams and hoping to push 100 teams this year on 30 mats at the Recplex in Des Moines, Iowa. Go
West Des
ahead.
Moines.
West Des
Yeah,
Moines,
so
Iowa.
yep, so we're at the Mid-American Energy Recplex in West Des Moines, Iowa. For those who did Junior Olympics 2 years ago, we're back there again. It's a great facility for what we do, especially for duels. We're gonna push the limits and try to fit 30 mats into there. The venue's already told me that we're gonna be able to continue there at the venue for several years now because they're very supportive of women's wrestling and what we're doing. And so once we outgrow the soccer field area, they have space and more space and more space to where we can add mats and more mats and the two hockey rinks and basketball gyms and things. So we're going to be there for quite a while, I think. They do a great job with the facilities. We're I'm excited right now because, as you mentioned, we are the first national AU women's wrestling standalone event. Every other women's event, including ours previously, has piggybacked off something. Scholastic duels are still in with the boys. Winter National's still in with the boys. Black Hills. Anybody else running a national tournament in AAU is still in with the boys. You see that with Fargo as well currently. I did see that other events are splitting some of their stuff up too as well this year. That's good for them. But for us, it's kind of special. We're here in Iowa. We are the mecca of wrestling, and we are the mecca of women's wrestling in so many ways. We continue to lead the path. We continue to show, how to help more girls in more ways with the facilitation and what we have. And so, yeah, we had 83 teams last year. We have new teams now coming in from Washington State. We have Kansas. While we were at convention, we helped our buddy Gary find some funding to make sure that he gets some Indiana girls here. We have new teams here in Iowa coming. So that's kind of fun too, to continue to find more and more pockets of girls here in Iowa. But one of the things I want to capitalize on right now and talk about is this poster right here. So we were national champions last year. Team Iowa was the national champions. And, I really like that other people put teams together here in Iowa. That's always fun. But, if you got a girl you think is a national champ, push her our way. We're going to help out those developing girls and the progressive girls, and we're going to sort them out, as they place in AAU Girls State and in the Girls Union State as well. But, give your daughter a shot. If she wants to be a national champ, right now the reigning champs Team Iowa. And so, kick some of your talent our way. If you got a whole club or team wanting to come, that's great. Maybe look at the progressive division. Some of the other teams, have done that in the past where, they've taken their club or, main group of high school girls who might not be, all-star caliber over to the progressive division where they had a good time, and then they floated their stud over to us and, they made the finals. And so I'd like to see us repeat, in the largest girls dual event in the country, which is Twin Rivers here in Iowa. We obviously here in Iowa support it very well. And so, you know, it'd be kind of special for us to continue to see Team Iowa to grow and to dominate. And, I just wanted to take that pitch right there. Um, with Team Iowa, we're doing a couple of other additional things. We've not raised our price again, to where now we're also offering a sibling discount. So when you sign up on Sports Engine, you're going to get a 10% discount if you're signing up, your sisters and whatever on there. So that's kind of nice that we were able to include a discount for multiple people being registered under the same profile. And then we did an upgrade. We always try to do the uniform in which we can afford and can, make sure that everybody has the opportunity to afford a nice uniform and girl cut singlet, screen print shorts and shirt. And so everyone who signs up for Team Iowa will still get that basic package, but also this year people have in the past asked, "Hey, why can't we get some of the sublimated stuff?" And so Three Times Gear's got us some really nice upgrade opportunities here. So if you want the higher end, upgraded gear, you can now sign up and, pick that up as well. And it's a 2-day event, so you can wear both packages, each day, or as you wish, or, and I believe I have it on there to mix and match. And so like maybe you want the shirt, not the shorts, or maybe you want the blue singlet and not just the red. And so now you have an opportunity to upgrade your gear for Team Iowa. Um, but then back to the event itself, I'm super excited. Every year we've grown it. It was at 83 teams. Now I'm pretty sure we're gonna break 100 just from the registrations I'm already seeing. We are way ahead from where we were last year. And the deadline's not until the end of next month for teams to get in. And so, until I start charging a late fee and everything. And so normally between now and the end of February is when everybody piles in, and I'm already more than halfway past where I was last year. And so I'm watching this. We'll again 30 mats there for sessions. We'll probably run, again a youth session in the morning, a high school session for the PM. That's worked out really well. Everybody's enjoyed it. If we have to float a couple of pools into the AM, that didn't seem to cause an issue anywhere. But we still have. Oh, before I forget, I'm sorry. We added a division to Twin Rivers. We added a progressive youth division in which I don't know very many tournaments that have that. And so we're gonna base some of our teams off of their placement with AAU Girls State, where, some girls who need more mat time, need that competition, want that national feel, and being on a team like that, they're still able to participate without necessarily going 0 and 7. So
Yeah.
some of the John Wayne swimming lessons that we do with youth teams, my those days might be numbered. So because we're creating this new opportunity for Twin Rivers as well with the youth dual or progressive youth teams, and so I think Iowa itself should be able to support most of this. If you're out there and you're listening, and you have a team that doesn't have a bunch of state place winners, sign up in our progressive division. Our youth progressive division. I don't have that on the form as it would have messed up the Google Sheets in which it feeds into, but I will be reaching out to anyone who signs up a team under the youth division. I've already had 2 or 3 contact me saying, "Hey, we are interested in something like that if you do it." So that should be good.
Yeah. So just so talk about the on the high school end, we've kind of made a hard cut this year on progressive versus all star, and I believe we're not allowing any state place winners on a progressive team. Is that correct?
Correct. So for Twin Rivers, there is no state place winners. I believe you can have maybe one for scholastic duels, but for our event here in Iowa for Twin Rivers, there no place winners on your high school team
And we're not talking about
for
AAU state in
progressive.
that we're talking about
Girls
the
Union.
union girls union
Yep.
state or whatever your association, whatever, if you're Nebraska or different state, whatever your actual high school association state is. That's what we're talking about. Because AAU could end up being 5 kids in a bracket. It's possible. So we don't want to do it that way. Uh, but that allows those kids in the progressive division to wrestle kids in the same developmental era. We want them to be able to have success and have fun on top of it. We it's a very fun tournament. Always have loved coaching that tournament. Always have loved being involved in this tournament just because it's one of the funnest events you could possibly be in. That many girls teams. Usually we really show up the boys. In the past years, it's always the loudest part of the building and stuff, and it's always really fun environment. So having it all girls this year, 100 teams is going to be insane. How much fun it's going to be. Yeah, I'm excited about that. And then we don't have a hard cut really on the new division with progressive youth. That's going to be kind of made determination going to be made by talking with coaches and
Yeah, I'd prefer state place winners. If you have a large tournament with like a 32-man bracket or 16-man bracket, I'd prefer not to have, state champs or runner-ups and things like
yeah.
that in it. I may have that already written up to match the high school progressive with no state place winners.
Okay.
Obviously, if there's a team on the fence, I'm going to talk to them a little bit and try to figure it out as we have in the past. This is a developing division. My goal is to get at least 8 teams. If we don't manage to get 8 teams, what we'll end up doing is, as we have in the past, they'll go into the regular youth pools. They'll end up wrestling in their pool. They might get, beat a couple times there, but then they get filtered down to like a bronze or copper bracket, and so then they're in teams that also might have got beat up a little bit in their pool on day one. So then day two, they get some respect and redemption back. But I'm pretty confident we're going to be able to fill this division and make a go at it. And I don't know. We keep doing new and new and new, and I like it. I like doing new. I like doing more. Less is never more. Let's keep doing more and more girls. I like it.
Yeah. So if you got a team, or if you have a team, contact Jason Lloyd for that. If you have individuals who need to sign up for the youth, Josh Park is the youth coordinator. For the high school, it's Allie Jabrock. I help with going both sides. I can enter information. It's not an issue. I do probably a little bit more on the high school just because that's more my area of expertise, and not I'm not so up on all the youth division people and that stuff. I'm not in that circle. So make sure you hit those people up. Get on a team if you want. Again, if you're bringing your own team, to make sure you get a hold of Jason Lloyd. I'm trying to think of anything else that's really important about the Twin Rivers that we need to discuss before we move on from there. I think probably for now we
No,
have it.
no, yeah, it's nice we're not, going head to head, say with Viper Pit. And so this year, being out on our own, we had more flexibility with what dates we had when we're signing contracts and finding venues and such. So we were able to get off a couple of those other larger dual events that people like, and I've tried working with those directors in the past. We just were kind of shackled to what, the boys were doing. So
Yep.
now, we're not going head to head. So everybody can do as many of these tournaments now as they want. We're not on the same date, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, Going forward though, we're talking about Team Iowa. So, AU Girls State's qualifier for Scholastic. We sort out Twin Rivers for that. And then from that pool, we'll end up pulling for Junior Olympics, which will be in Houston this year. That'll be freestyle. That'll be last week of July, first week of August time frame. It always is. The flyer might already be up. No, the wrestling flyer is not up, but the dates might be up for the overall event, just as a time frame. And then we last year with our friends from Indiana and the Girls Association over there, we're now part of the Illinois and Iowa All-Star Duel. So their coaches association takes their state champs, send them for a tournament. It was a great time last year. Our athletes, they went there and had to stand the line with the Illinois state champs, the Indiana state champs, and then I don't know, there's probably a dozen college coaches in the room, so it was a small room of athletes with a lot of good eyes on them. And so we're going to be trying to participate again in that all-star duel. I've already talked to my buddy Gary. It'll be in Illinois this time, not in Indiana, because those two go back and forth. And then they've talked to me about bringing it to Iowa. At some point, maybe we can add the boys to that as well. That'd be nice, But so with Team Iowa, we've got you're gonna get 4 or 5 matches at Girls State. You're gonna get 7 matches at Twin Rivers. We're gonna go down to Scholastic Duels. You're gonna get 12 matches down there. Then we've got Junior Olympics where those girls last time we hosted Junior Olympics, they got 10 matches. Um, 7 to 10 matches, and then now then they have the All-Star Duel where you're going to get another 2 or 3 matches. So we're pushing 30 matches with high school girls in the postseason across different formats of wrestling and styles of wrestling, and we're keeping these girls on the mat. And so I really want to encourage girls to sign up with AU Girls State, try to make those top teams if they can. If you can't, we're still going to get you matches at Twin Rivers for sure. And then there's other opportunities. We'll form teams for Junior Olympics and the All-Star Duel as well. The only other opportunity I want to mention is the ISF, the Gymnasia. It's a weird spelled word. It look and so it's basically the ISF Summer Games. That's what it is. And so We went back to back with all gold for those ISF for our girls team. You know, we're now international champions 2 times over with the AAU Team USA here. And this year we have junior high girls traveling to Serbia. Rob Pilcher in Nebraska is in charge of that currently. And so, he's put some posts out, if you're interested, hit them up. There'll be a selection process. They're going to try to fill just one team because it's a quick turnaround. That's in April, the same time as Twin Rivers. But there's an opportunity there to go wrestle freestyle internationally and hopefully win some international gold like we have the last 2 years.
Yeah, no, that's great. I know we have a lot of opportunities. Hoping to continue to bring more. I know between a few of the people on your board and stuff, we're always coming up with new ideas to try to get more
Yeah.
matches and more mat time. Also look for, we'll still do some Team Iowa practices at Grandview this year. We try to get, I tried to get some different colleges involved in that last year, and I'm looking to do the same thing, that maybe we can have some opportunities throughout the state to get some mat time with not just your local people, but get statewide. Those Grandview practices are always fantastic. And, yes, we do them typically for scholastic duels, but everybody's invited to them. So don't think that you can't step in and wrestle with us. One of the things when we talk about the opportunities and stuff, I'm not even going to mention names, but I have a young lady on my team that prior to last year she qualified for state. She was a very good wrestler, but didn't even make blood rounds. Had won a couple matches, lost a couple matches. She did AAU State, had a great AAU State, but then did every opportunity that we gave and offered. And last year she rose to the ranks and placed second in the state. I know her dad attributes all of the, a lot of the success to the off-season mat time that she got. She got to wrestle with like-minded people, a lot of people that were better than her, which also pushed her and things like that. So I think just taking advantage of the opportunities that are presented are really important. I always, I will never tell a kid not to take an opportunity. So I hope other coaches are the same way. If you have that opportunity, please get on the mat.
Yeah, you just nailed it. Less is never more. I don't discourage people from taking any opportunity to be on the mat, especially in the postseason and the summertime. Summer wrestlers make winter champions, and that's been a motto in several clubs that I've seen around. I think sometimes people get stuck in the way how the boys did it in years past. They don't understand there's a new path. There's a new path. These girls have blazed it out. And so, like with us with AAU, there's so many more ch opportunities to be on the mat that wasn't there before. Used to, you had to be the top one or two kid in the state, and then maybe you did the AAU national stuff, maybe you did the junior duels and scholastic, and that was for just a couple of kids. And so now we've opened up the door, kicked it open every way we can. To keep these girls on the mat, blazing new trails, doing it differently, doing it our way. Like you said, like-minded people who are just there for the athletes who none of us get a paycheck. We're just trying to help kids wrestle and have fun. And that goes a long way. That goes a long way. If you're having fun all summer, like Scholastic Duels. I saw four-timers going to Scholastic Duels, and that was cool. And I know it would have been cool for, my other son, who didn't have an opportunity to go down there. And so now there's a new division down there, because, we had the opportunity to blaze our own path. And so you have a progressive division down there. We have the All-Star, and nobody can tell me that when you're on that trip, you're getting 12 matches, over 3 days, and you're getting to go see, whether it's the beaches or alligators or even the parks or whatever we're doing. That's fun. That means something to a kid. That means something to an athlete. They're gonna remember that trip forever. They're gonna love it. They're gonna love the sport more. It's not just a grind out, and there's not a weigh-in every day down there, and it's just about wrestling and having a good time. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where my mindset is most days.
Yep, and other things that we're really looking at is building up officiating pools with new female officials, really important to everyone, and then also the coaching pool, which is really important to us old guys that are still coaching. We can't wait for that next group of girls to come out of college and be ready to start coaching. So that's part of the Twin Rivers experience is you will probably have a girl that is your coach will probably be a female athlete from one of the local colleges. So that's really cool. So. I don't know anything else we want to hit tonight. We definitely can do more of these to get information out to everybody. And thanks for getting on, Jason. And I will get this out to everybody as soon as possible.
Yep. Thanks again, Troy. And I just look forward to seeing everybody on the mat in the postseason. We're gonna have a lot of fun, kick a lot of butt. It's gonna be a good time. So see you guys on the mat. Thanks, Troy.
You bet.